7 mistakes that you might be doing in order to pursue a hourglass figure. Mistake number 1 is not owning the fact that you want an hourglass figure. And this is problematic because it is hindering you from choosing the right path in order to get to that goal. So if you're saying that you want to be more healthy and fit and lose weight, like they're very vague goals, and they're good goals, but like they're very vague. And so you're going to work towards that goal rather than the goal of trying to build your shape, which is a very much different process and a very specific process compared to the very vague goals that I just mentioned. So making sure that you own the fact that that is your goal and being okay with that's what your goal is, and knowing that yes, it might seem vain and conceited to other people, but to you, at least you're clear on what you want to get towards, and then you work towards that. So that is mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is following a good program, but not progressively overloading in the gym. So if you're not executing the program well, and what I mean by well is you might be barbell squatting, but for the past 3 months you've been squatting only 30 kilos and following the same program, that is a good program, but you're not making any progress with the weight. You're not going to get much change in your body. And this can show up because I get it, like I've done it before. You can be scared of your form being wrong, and so you don't want to push yourself in case you might hurt yourself, and I get that. And that's why I think getting coaching is very helpful, because your coach can tell you feedback and give you feedback on if you're doing the right form, what you need to correct, and get you feeling the correct muscles so that you can actually push in the gym better than what you would have done on your own. So that is mistake number 2. Mistake number 3 is not tracking your nutrition. Now, there's mixed views around this, and a lot of people can go from like two sides of the extremes. Like one says like it's very amazing and good, and the other extreme is that it's bad for you. And the thing is, at the end of the day, tracking your nutrition in and of itself, like the actual app that you use, tracking itself is not a good or a bad thing, but it's what you perceive and how you experience it to be from your beliefs that you have about it. So if you believe that it's a bad thing, then you're going to act out by making it a bad thing. You're not going to track your food. But if you think it's a good thing and it's going to help you, and it's a tool at the end of the day, it's going to help you get closer towards your goal, then tracking is going to be a good thing and a better experience for you. So I used to be at 2 different ends of the nutrition debate, but now I understand that it literally is a tool, and it's how you perceive the tool to be that is going to help you get closer or further away from your goal. Mistake number 4 is having cheat days or cheat meals. And I don't necessarily mean like the actual act itself. I mean like the language that we use. And yes, the language that we use can be quite strong in that it's going to either bring us closer or away from our goal of having a more hourglass figure. So saying that you're having a cheat, like really think about it. If you have a relationship and you want your partner to be loyal, and then every so often you or your partner like cheats, it's not a good relationship, is it? So having a cheat meal or a cheat day or a cheat anything is not necessarily good language to use, especially around food, because you trying to go for a cheat meal or a cheat day is undoing a lot of the progress that you're making through the week, because it's kind of like a free-for-all that we have, like, oh, okay, well, stuff it, like I'm going to just completely go for it and have all this food, which you might not even want, but you do it anyway because you have this free pass. So language is very important, and making sure that you aren't actually using this type of language, especially if you are, wanting to sustain these results and you're just an everyday woman who wants to get a more hourglass figure and just be stronger mentally and physically. Like, it's not necessary to have cheat days and cheat meals. Now, mistake number 5 is not having a coach. And yes, I am a coach, and it might seem like, it's because you're a coach, you're going to say that you should recommend everyone has to have a coach. Well, no, that is not why I recommend having a coach. When I first started, I wasn't a coach, and coaching was like the last thing that I wanted to ever be. I never thought that I'd become a coach. But having a coach who has walked the walk and talked the talk and has gone through the process that you want to go through will really help you know and learn things that you wouldn't have known had you not invested in yourself through coaching. So there is an array of things that I've learned through the coaches that I've worked with and been able to learn from them because they've walked the path, and now I get to use that information and get the feedback that I need in order to get the more hourglass figure that I've been able to build. So that's mistake number 5. Mistake number 6 is following your boyfriend's program. Yes, I said it. I know it sounds like why it's a good thing that I'm training with my partner. Like, yes, it's a great thing that you're training with your partner, and I absolutely love when couples train together. But when your goal is a more hourglass figure, more likely than not, your partner's goal is not that. Like, that's not your partner's goal. So following his program, which more likely will be a push-pull split, push-pull leg split, I should say, you're not training for the same thing. So your program needs to be catered towards your goal, and his program is going to be catered towards his goal. And yeah, following your boyfriend's program isn't going to help you get to that hourglass figure unless your boyfriend's goal is to get an hourglass figure. Now, mistake number 7 is not following through with your training and your tracking. Now, when you're building a new habit, so say for example, you're okay with your training, now you've tracked your food before, but now you started coaching and now you're, learning how to track again. And the thing is, tracking in and of itself is a skill. But after a few months of tracking, you will get the hang of it. It will be easier than it did when you first started. And after 8 years or more of doing this, like, I have come to learn that it's just literally repetition. Keep doing it and don't give up, and eventually you'll get closer to your goal, and eventually you'll get your goal. But I have very much different take on that, because your goal will constantly move away from you because you can keep changing it. But anyway, that's not the point of that, but that was mistake number 7. Now, the bonus mistake that I wanted to mention is something that I see too many women, if not every single woman that I've worked with so far, including myself, is the lack of self-compassion that we have towards ourselves. We have high standards, but we have a very low tolerance or self-compassion towards our mistakes and our lack of training or our lack of nutrition and lack of follow through. So this can simply be fixed by practicing compassion to yourself. So going, okay, well, I want to track 6 days a week, and I also want to train 4 times a week. If those are your standards and you set them for yourself, when it comes to week 3, maybe it comes to week 12 or 16 or the 6th month of your program, your ability to show your self-compassion through this process is going to come up constantly, because 1, we're not perfect, and 2, we're going to have ups and downs because life is going to throw things at you at different directions. You're going to be pulled in different directions, and you're going to not track every single day. You're going to, say you're going to train on Monday and you don't train on Monday. But you bullying yourself and saying, you know what, because you didn't do it, therefore I give up, don't do it anymore. You're horrible, and trying to beat yourself up for it, it's not helpful in any way, especially when it's a journey and it's not a sprint. it's a journey. You're going to eventually get to that goal that you want, and you're going to constantly want to improve. So having a high level of self-compassion, as well as those high standards, is what's going to help you through this journey that is a long-term thing. So if you found any of that helpful, I'd love for you to leave a comment or DM me on what you found helpful, and I'd love to be able to hear from you. You can follow me on Instagram at Alison Sampana, or you can follow me on YouTube at Alison Sampana. You can also follow me on Facebook, same thing, Alison Sampana, my name. And if you found that helpful, I would love to hear from you. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.